This is what we're working on today. This is a gimbal for low angle video shots. It's a DIY project. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the various steps about making it. The cool thing about this is it didn't cost a lot of money, okay? And this is basically a scrap project. So I had a scrap piece of wood. I had some straps that weren't doing anything. You can use some rope if you don't have straps. This is a little extra piece of PVC I had lying around. And you don't have to paint it. I decided to spray paint it black. That's up to you. You can use whatever color if you wanted to paint it that you wanted. The other thing I like about this particular project is it's compact. So this will fit in your gear bag if you're running off on location. Okay? And you should see the really cool shots you can get with this. All right? This, makes getting the low shots. Now, you can make these straps or things longer or shorter depending on what you want. Okay? So this is a little adjustable too. If you wanted to have it longer straps and you just had them, coming down further, hanging down further from here, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Okay? So here's what we're going to do is I'm going to flip the camera. I'm going to show you the different steps that I took to make this particular project, and you can make it too. And it's really not that difficult. All right? And we'll see you in the next scene. What you're going to need is a piece of wood about an inch bigger than your camera on all sides. And we're going to need something to cut it to size, a handsaw, for example, or you can use a circular saw or miter saw, whatever you got. And some screws and washers to attach the string or the rope or the straps to the board. These are the bolts that attach the board to the camera. And you're going to need a way, if you have straps, to punch holes in them. This is an awl. You can use a knife. Cut this, and you're going to have the straps, and you're going to need to cut it to length. Okay. So moving it to, 36 inch, and that's what I used for this. And then once you get your board, you can mark it and then go ahead and cut the size. So I don't have a garage or a fancy workbench. I just attached it to my dining room table and went ahead and just cut the board. You don't need anything super fancy, This is what I've got. Maybe you've got a relative that is a workshop. You can always maybe go over there depending on, or a friend. And this might be a nice place. So now what we have to do, once you get your board, we have to drill the hole to mount it to the camera. So we have to mark where the tripod mount is. So this is marking it side to side. And then we have to also mark it front to back. So once we get the set up here, and you can just set it up and mark it for front to back. And then once you can paint it black or another color. I decided to paint it black, and I like the way it looked. So now what we need to do is to attach the straps to the board. So before we attach it, in order to attach it, we have to pre-drill some holes. And I decided to drill them on the side. And if you wanted to drill them on the top and attach it to the top of the board, that's fine too. I thought it would be nice to have a little bit more room on the top, so that's why I chose to attach to the sides of this board. Yes, pre-drilling it makes it a whole lot easier to attach to the board when it comes to drilling it in. This is where we make the holes. You know, you can use a sharp knife if that's what you have, that's fine. And now we have to put the bit in, the driving bit, so we can actually drive the screws in. And once you have all the holes drilled, then what you can do is get your washer and your screw together, and we're going to attach the straps to the board. And that's all you got to do is just go ahead and, you know, you don't need a power driver. You can use a regular screwdriver, you know, if that's what works for you. If that's what you got, then use it. That's fine. And we're going to put 2 straps in first, just 2. Now, what I did is I attached them kitty corner, so opposite corners. So on the same side, one is one strap, one is another strap. Once you get 2 of these in, because you have to do both, just on the front side, for example. Once you get one strap in and starting the second strap, then what you need to do before you do anything, you have to insert your handle, and the handle is a PVC handle. So once you get that, you will slide the straps through, and this is how you have a handle to work with. All right, this is the important part. Otherwise, you got to take things off and, you know, rethread it through. So once you have the handle installed, then you can attach the straps on the other side to the gimbal or the piece of wood. I guess technically it's a piece of wood until it's all finished, then it's a gimbal. And this is how you're going to go ahead and finish this up. Because once you got the pieces on there, okay, once you have the straps all screwed down, tightened down, then the only thing left is to attach the camera to the gimbal or the piece of wood on the bottom. So when you have your bolt, you have to measure your bolt and make sure it's about 1/4 inch longer than your piece of wood. And this is so it goes up into the camera, and that 1/4 inch is about 3 turns. You know, the size of the bolt is 1/4 20. 1/4 20 is what works for these cameras and video gear. And this is what it looks like. Here's some examples. This is what it looks like when I'm using it. And of course you can put it higher or lower. This is an actual testing of it. This is what the actual looks like from the camera point of view. I kind of like this, you know, low angle shot for certain things. And of course you can start up and go down, and it's a nice way of conveying motion and movement. I did an inside one here just to give you an example of something you can do with this particular gimbal. All right, and that about sums it up for the samples. Okay, to wrap things up, you know, this little unit here, you know, it's just for the lower angle shots. so you don't have to bend over quite so much. And I made this, all right, so you can have something that kind of folds up and fits in your gear bag. You don't have to have these straps, okay? You don't have to have the straps. You can use just rope to do this, to tie this all together. The important thing is this little part. This is the bolt that attaches to the camera. This is the important one. Get an extra one. Get two extra. You know, maybe you tape it right to the unit here, throw it in your gear bag. You got to have that one. You know, I don't want you to, you know, have your whole shot set up and then not have that. So what I want you to think about is, you saw the shots that I put in there, the example shots. Those weren't first and second take. No timeout, Green Bay. Those were like take 20, take 24. So I want you to think about that and just practice with this, because every time you practice, you're going to get better. Try different things. Some of the shots, I actually held it from here and up here as well. And I want you to try these different things. See what works for you. One of the great things about this is pretty much a scrap project. You know, I had a few bucks for, these were like $1.25 each. It was $2.50 for a whole pack of screws, and then it was another couple of bucks for the washers. So this is a low-cost project that you can do to, you know, take your videos and move it up a level. Add an extra scene that you might not have gotten, just to add part of the storyline to your videos, okay? And that's what I want you guys to do, to try new things, add something else, and pretty soon, you know, your videos are going to get better. I hope mine get better. That's my plan. And just like you're learning, I'm learning too. And that's the main thing, is to practice. It's not about, it's something about the gear, but a lot of it has to do with, you know, your story and how you tell the story in these different segments. All right, because that's what they talk about in videos. You know, you got your storyboard, you got your each scene. You know, each scene might not be filmed in order. You might have to, you know, rejumble the pieces later on. But this will have one small piece of that whole long story. And that's what I'm doing here, guys. I'm trying to educate you. I'm trying to educate myself in this whole brand new world for me, and that's creating videos. Okay? So these are the, we'll call them the talking head videos. This is the easy button for me, you know, because I understand the lighting. You know, photography and video lighting are very similar. A couple other things I have to think about. But the bottom line is, if you like content like this, don't forget that the thumbs up button. Please subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Take care.